In this movie, I'm going to discuss how to use the levels adjustment layer to remap the pixels in this image that has a color cast on it. We can actually select our levels adjustment layer here. We have three eyedroppers. This is for setting your black point, your gray point, and your white point. Now, this will actually, in its default setting, set your pixels to an absolute black, and this will set them to an absolute white. This is a 50% gray. Now, an absolute black would be complete absence of detail, the darkest dark you could have, and a pure white would be a specular highlight, like a reflection off of a shiny object or something like that. And we don't have any tones in this picture that would be an absolute black or an absolute white, so you can actually set these droppers to achieve what you would like by double-clicking them. This is my set white point dropper, 100%. Brightness is giving me 255 everywhere, and I'm going to lessen that to 96. There is nothing that's actually purely white in this. So 96 for the brightness, and hue saturation brightness actually will bump that down. So whatever I click on will not become a pure white. It'll still have some detail in it. So I'm going to click OK to that. I don't want this to be my default settings, so I'm going to click No there. Same for the black dropper. If I click that twice, notice that it's set to 0, 0, 0. That means that that is going to be a pure black, a complete absence of any detail. There's nothing completely black in this picture. I'm going to type 4 in here. And that gives me a RGB setting of 10. And I'm going to click OK to that. Again, that's not going to be my default setting. I may want to change that for other pictures, so I'll click No there. But for right now, that's where they're set. Now, we've already discussed how you can actually hold down the Option key, the Alt key on the PC, and click this slider here and drag to the left to see where the image first starts to show up. That's where your lightest colors are going to be. And alternatively, if you actually Option drag on the left slider here, the shadow slider, what shows up first is going to be where your darkest pixels are. Now we would like to actually set targets there using our dropper here. Set sample size 3 by 3 so that we don't actually select an individual pixel, but a 9 pixel area 3 by 3. So you're going to have 3 high and 3 wide square that you're selecting from. I'm going to choose the color sampler tool. But notice that we can't actually, as soon as we release the mouse, when we're dragging here, we actually see the image again. So Option drag here, and as soon as I release the mouse to get my dropper, I see everything again. So to remedy that, we're going to actually use another tool. We're going to use the threshold adjustment layer. Threshold actually is going to let me see where the white first starts to show up on this side. And I can see the very first place it begins to show up is right in here. So I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to set my first marker there. That's where the white first starts to show up. I'm going to zoom back out again. Command 0 to zoom out. Spacebar, scoot this over. And let's see where the black, the darkest part first starts to show up. So I'm going to start dragging from the other side. And the very first places that start to show up that are pure black, well, not really a pure black, but like I said before, but the darkest part of the image would be in here. Any of these spots would be okay. So I'm going to place my second marker there. Now we have the issue of our gray point. This is a little bit different here. I'm going to zoom back out again, Command 0. Our gray point, to actually determine where that's going to be, we need another layer. Now first let me mention that the difference mode, I'm going to show you what the difference mode does. I'm going to actually duplicate the background here, and I'm going to put this in difference mode, and difference mode shows me where there's no difference, everything is black, and there's no difference between these two layers. I've just duplicated this exact copy, and it shows me black everywhere. So that's what the difference mode does. It shows you where the difference is, and if there is no difference, it shows you black. So having accomplished that demonstration there, I'm going to make a new layer, but rather than put 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 black in it, I'm going to actually, or a duplicate of that image, I'm going to put a 50% gray in there. And so I can actually bring up my edit fill box. I'm going to do that with a shift delete. You can see you have choices here: foreground, background, pattern, black. 50% gray is what I want, and so I'm going to choose that. Now I'm going to put that in difference mode so that I can see what turns black. Basically, that's going to show me where my gray point dropper is going to be applied. So I'm going to put this in difference mode, and yes, I'm having a hard time seeing where the midtone would be, but again, we can use our threshold layer up on top for that purpose. So with threshold above this 50% gray layer, now the first places that turn black are indicating where I'm going to have a good gray point. So I'm going to zoom in here where it looks like I'm getting a pretty good area. Let's take a look through here. Anywhere where I see a cluster of pixels, this is a 3x3 cluster there, that will make a good point. So I'm going to set that for my third point. Now I'm going to zoom back out, Command 0, that'd be Control 0 on a PC. I'm going to turn off these layers that I've used to determine where these points are, and now I'm ready to go with my levels adjustment. So with my levels adjustment showing, now I know that I can set my gray point right here at my third place. And if you need to zoom in a little bit to see exactly where you're placing that, that is fine. I zoomed in a little too much there, but it is right here. So once I click there and go Command 0, you can see I've taken the color cast completely off of this image. The contamination of the pixels was all the way across. That set that area to a neutral gray. If I would like to experiment and see if I can improve my contrast by using my black point dropper, I can then go to my second spot here that I actually selected and click it to remap my pixels. Command 0 again zooms me out. I've actually added the color cast back a little bit there. The white point dropper, I can try clicking here, and that brightens things right back up. And there is my image that's been adjusted. If you think that you've actually lost details in some of your highlight areas, and I don't believe I have, you can always go back in and add a mask. Command 0. That is my after. This is my before.